to incorporate relative keys and modes and stuff like that. So that's been really inspiring. It's kind of opened my ears up to a lot of things that always sounded right, but I didn't know it was okay to break those rules. So, and just listening to, obviously the Beatles, some of the best songwriters of all time, and just how they come up with chord progressions and how it's all put together, it makes way more sense to me, to my ear, than it ever did before, just after, digging deeper and learning more things about songwriting. So that's inspiring.
Yeah. Love it. I don't know if it's because you see the Beatles shirt I'm wearing or
Hey,
not.
all right.
Yeah. I just, my Spotify just gave me my 2020 year rap or whatever. This number one artist was the Beatles. I was like, that's not surprising. But I also, I only got Spotify like in October. I was using like YouTube Music, and before that I was using Google. So it's like, it's not really an accurate depiction, but it probably is. You know what I mean?
I mean, the catalog is staggering. And
yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of great songwriters in the world, but there's definitely
the amount of hits, the amount of
a special place for those guys. Were incredible.
Well, I think of it as like a synergy thing. Like the Beatles are about the sum being greater than the total being greater than the sum of its parts. You know what I mean? Like, love George Harrison, love Paul McCartney, love John Lennon, but like the combo is beyond all of that.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to top that, and I think there was, at least from certain interviews and stuff I've read, kind of a healthy competition between them, and I think that also kind of drove them. Because when the guy sitting across from you is Paul McCartney, he's going to critique your song, or the guy sitting across from you is John Lennon, and he's going to critique your song that you're bringing to the band. You really got to bring your A game, and I think them all being in a group together was part of what kind of thing drove them to such heights and songwriting.
Yeah, you got to check out there's a book, I don't know if you read it, Here, There, and Everywhere by Jeff Emmerich, who recorded the Beatles.
Awesome.
I don't know if you read it, but I'll send you a link I'll put it in the show notes also, but that's a must read, I think, for any Beatles and recording thing.
Nice.
It's everything you want to read.
Beautiful. Have you checked out Recording the Beatles?
Oh, I have not checked it out, but I have a good friend who has. I actually talked about it on this podcast once. So
it's kind of like gear porn, but it's kind of the best kind of gear porn. It's incredible just being able to kind of get a play-by-play on the whole process of making those records is really eye-opening. It's very cool.
I got to go get that book or borrow it and just dig in at some point. Dude, this has been really, really fun. I guess I just only have one more question for you. Where I guess what would you impart on, somebody who's more at the beginning of their journey, something that you feel would have been really important for you at the beginning of your journey? Maybe you did it or maybe you didn't do it, but it was like an important thing that you'd want to impart on somebody who's just getting started.
Oh, that's a wonderful question. I would say that one of the things that I feel like helped me was when I was beginning, I never said no to anything, even if it was free. Now, there's a point in your career where that has to change, but in the beginning, I definitely gained so much experience by telling myself I was not allowed to say no. If an artist said, "Is there a way that we can do this?" I would say, "Let me find a way to do that." Instead of, "Well, that's not really the way we normally do it," or thinking of everything in terms of, how can I say yes to this question and be right? So I think that's one of the things that drove me. And definitely I learned a lot in the process of, forcing myself to say, yeah, I'll find a way to do that. I'll find a way to make that happen. And whether I had to text somebody or call somebody or whatever it was, open a manual, just, finding a way to make things happen, I think is really a great skill and is, I think a skill that most of the people that have longevity in the industry possess, however you come by it. I think that was one of the ways that helped me, was just telling myself I had to say yes to everything. And then also saying yes to, a lot of just all kinds of different work, even if it was free. I think taught me a lot of things. And the great thing about doing free work is they can't complain because they're not paying you. So you get to learn something, and they can't really be mad if you screw it up along the way.
Yeah.
Obviously try not to ever screw up, but.
Yeah. Are you a perfectionist?
I'm a perfectionist about some things, and other things I try and let the happy accidents happen. It depends on what it is. I feel like a perfectionist about mastering, and I'm a perfectionist about editing, but not necessarily about mixing. And I used to be, and I think the thing that changed that was realizing that there's probably 50 great ways to mix any song. And the only way that really is important is what makes the artist and the producer happy. So, because their names are going to be front and center, and it's important, that it matches their vision to whatever degree that, that what you bring to them doesn't change their vision. So
it's like about detaching your ego from the mix.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that kind of made me less of a perfectionist about mixing and more of like, here's my taste. Tell me if my taste matches your taste. And if it doesn't, let's change that.
Yeah. Got to have that dialogue. It's a service industry. I find the balance of being a perfectionist and like actually letting things be creative and letting go is a difficult balance for me to keep. And I'm like slowly trying to let go of my perfectionism as I go through this journey of whatever this you want to call this,
Definitely. I'm a perfectionist about editing. When tracks are misaligned or poorly edited and faded, all that kind of stuff, that really hurts my heart. I can't sleep at night when those kinds of things happen. But other things I've learned to let somebody else's vision take precedence over mine.
Love it. Miguel, this has been such an eye-opening and insightful conversation. Thanks for sharing all your wisdom with the audience and with me. I guess, how could the audience find you on the internet? What would be the best place to look?
I guess the easiest place to reach me is on Instagram or on Twitter. My Instagram is at Miguel C. Scott, and same for Twitter. So those are probably the easiest ways to reach me. I got a website that I'm putting together now, but I don't have any of that yet. So.
All right. Sounds great. Well, dude, this is awesome. Great information. I feel like this is like an episode I'm going to send a lot of people to get a lot of information on a lot of different things. So
this has been a lot of fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled you enjoyed.
Yeah, no, it's been, like I said, a lot of fun, and I'm a big fan of the podcast. Like I said, I'm always trying to learn something new, so I'm always putting my feelers out and checking out everything that everything I can find, and just seeing what all the cool stuff that everybody else is up to.
All right, well, I guess learning is what it's all about at the end of the day. So you can either learn or you could stagnate.
There you go. That's right.
Awesome. Miguel, have a great day. Stay safe out there, and thanks for jumping on the call and for your time and wisdom.
Likewise.
All right. Cheers, man. Take care.
Cheers.
There you have it, guys. My interview with Miguel Scott. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I really learned a lot, and I hope you did too. If you did enjoy this episode, I would love it if you would share it with a friend or two and let them know about the show, because I think the show's got a lot of potential and a lot of people that could benefit from these conversations who don't know about it. So if you could share this with a friend, I would really appreciate it. The other thing you could do to help support the show would be to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. That always helps. As you know, you can follow the show on Instagram and on Facebook, Secret Sonics. Just search for us. We're around. And if you have any questions, thoughts, feedback, please send them over to secretsonics@gmail.com. I'd be happy to have a look and see what you have to say and get back to you. The other thing I'd like to mention is that I'm offering a service now called production coaching. So if you have been enjoying these episodes, if you like anything about what I have to say, and if you're stuck at any point in any part of your journey of production, I can maybe help you get through that. I feel like a lot of people, because they're working alone and they don't have other people to work with, may have a really good direction but miss a couple key points in their productions or their mixes or whatever it is. There's a lot of blind spots at the beginning of your journey. So if you feel like you're running into all these little blind spot obstacles that you need help with, reach out. I'd be happy to book a call with you. It's inexpensive and we can talk about it on the phone. That's it for now. I hope you guys have a great week. Stay safe out there. And it's currently Hanukkah, so happy Hanukkah to all of the Jewish listeners, and happy holiday season to everybody listening. All right, guys, take care and dig in.